welcome. Uh, Today we're gonna be doing this workshop, The Ultimate Self-Care. And in honor of that, I kind of want to hear your thoughts about self-care, maybe what you're expecting from this workshop, what your expectations are, what you'd like to walk out, to virtually walk out of this workshop with, any tools, any things that you're looking forward to, and just kind of your general expectations. So if you're brave enough, feel free to unmute and just speak it out into the Zoom space and to your other participants. But if not, you can just put it in the chat and that's completely fine. Also wanted to mention my pronouns are she, her, and if you want to, you can also put your pronouns in the chat so that I know how to refer to you properly. She, her, great. And as you're putting your expectations or your intentions in the chat, or speaking them, I'm just going to explain a little bit about this idea of self-care. So I feel like there's been such a huge movement around self-care in the past couple of years that's been just really overwhelming, in the sense that the media has kind of taken it over, and there are very specific things that we associate with self-care now. And sometimes self-care goes beyond slapping a face mask on, getting a bubble bath, and drinking some wine. I don't drink wine, so for me it would be like a sparkling fizzy drink of some kind, which that all sounds great, to be honest with you. Like tonight, if I had the opportunity to just do that, I would do that. But at times, self-care goes a little bit beyond and a little bit deeper those external things. And sometimes the idea of self-care has to come from within, and it has to come from efforts that we do in our own personal life inwards, so that we're able to truly heal. And so to that effect, we at 3 Jewels come from this very specific lineage, the Mahayana Buddhist lineage, which is like the lineage from the Dalai Lama, if you haven't heard about it. And so we have specific techniques, specific lessons and teachings surrounding self-care that have been passed on from generation to generation that are 2,000 years old or so. And so we want to share them with you. And it's just like, keep an open mind as you're hearing these things. It's not going to be too crazy, don't worry. But just so for you to know that I didn't like make up some things 15 minutes before class and say, okay, this is what I'm going to say about self-care, so that the people in the workshop like what I'm doing. This is very much something that I've been studying. This is something that we promote at 3 Jewels. There's a self-care meditation also that's coming this afternoon that's going to complement this workshop. So if you want to join, you can join on the IG live for Alchemist Kitchen. And I'm a meditation teacher myself. I've been studying this for a while now, a couple of years. So this is one of my main practices. This is a self-care practice. So the way that the workshop is going to be organized is that we're going to do a small activity together, and then we're going to delve into like the main teaching portion of it. But first, let's kind of get each other, engaged. And I'm going to have to ask you to change your Zoom names, actually. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to all change our Zoom names to Purify, like this. Purify. So if you can, just do that now to Purify. Purify. And if not, that's fine. But This is because we're going to do an anonymous share together. So if you're not changing your name, you're consenting to not being anonymous. And hi, Julie. We're just changing our Zoom names to Purify. So we're going to do an anonymous share via chat. So if you can change your Zoom name to Purify, that would be great. Amazing. Okay. So why Purify? This is a very specific thing that we do practicing bodhisattvas, which are people who are committed to their self-liberation and the liberation of others, do this every 2 weeks, every new moon and every full moon. We're just doing it in like an informal setting. But what we're going to do is we're going to reflect. We're going to take a couple of moments to think of ways that we didn't care for ourselves. Maybe times when we were adopting habits that were harmful. Maybe you have something in mind, like a pattern or something that you keep on doing that you know is not beneficial to your own development and your own healing. Maybe it's something from the past that you've kind of just put behind, but you really want to like get rid of it once and for all. So we're going to share in the chat now that we have like this anonymous thing going on. Each one of us is going to share a habit or a thing that they want to get rid of in their lives that is no longer serving them, something that you just like, you want to get rid of. And when you put it into the chat, I invite you to think of it as being completely done and gone. By the action of you typing into the chat, you are effectively removing this habit, removing this thing from your life. Sorry, that's my cat. Okay, so take a couple of moments and then write it into the chat. It could be a sentence, it could be more. Feel free, and then we're gonna just like read through them together. So just take a couple of moments for yourself. And since we're all under Purify, no one will know who's who. So you don't have to fear, especially since this workshop is also axed on emotional vulnerability. I invite you to show up with an open heart and to really allow yourself to be vulnerable here today. So hi, Cher, just recapping, we're changing our names to Purify, and then we're sharing in the chat habits that we want to get rid of or things in our lives that no longer serve us and that aren't helping our self-development. Hi. Okay, great. We have some things coming up.
What's the
What?
And hi, Shamima. We're changing our names to Purify, our Zoom names to Purify, and then entering in the chat habits we want to get rid of and things no longer serving us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes and then we're going to go through these. And again, as you're putting this into the chat, imagine that this is just completely gone, done. like there's a flame that is sucking up the thing that you want to get rid of and completely destroying it from your life. And someone messaged me directly, so I'm just going to enter it in the chat on their behalf. Okay. Thank you for being honest and for sharing. I know it's difficult, especially when you're in a room full of people that you don't know. Sometimes it feels counteractive. Okay. So we have a sugar detox. Okay. Tardiness. Mindlessly scrolling on my phone. Overthinking. Overreacting. Being selfish. Not being present. Self-doubt. And if you're not sure how to change your name, you can just directly message me and I'll share the thing on your behalf. Okay. So as you're reading these things that other people are putting into the chat, I want you to consider them as well. Consider other people that are showing up to this class today and choosing to share with you and choosing to be vulnerable and who have their own set of problems going on and their own set of things that they're trying to get to the root of. For people just coming in, we're changing our names to Purify and sharing a habit. Hi, Alfredo. And sharing a habit or a thing that we're doing that's not helpful in our lives or that's harming us that we want to get rid of. We have being a doormat for others. Yes, this is an anonymous share. So some of the things that were mentioned were a sugar detox, tardiness, mindlessly scrolling on my phone, overthinking, overreacting, being selfish, not being present, self-doubt, being a doormat for others, not taking time for self-care. So if you feel inclined to share, please do. Putting myself down. So we have a lot of self-doubt in here, self-doubt, not taking time for self-care, putting myself down, and kind of habits where we're being hard on ourselves or we're being unsure. And then there's also reactions like overthinking, overreacting, being selfish. And then there's a question of presence, like being mindful, being present is important to some of you. And being on time comes into that as well. Okay. Thank you for sharing, everyone. So as you just put this in the chat, imagine these completely gone and removed from your lives just for a second, like indulge me, during this workshop. Then after this workshop, if you want to say, hey, I'm actually not like fully out of this self-doubt thing, that's fine. But just for now, imagine what it feels like to have this removed from your life completely. And today we're going to share together this experience. I'm going to share with you this teaching that actually has the power and the potential to remove these things from your life. Okay. So I invite you for like the rest of the time that we have together to be really present and to remember why you came here, to remember the things that you put in the chat that you want to get rid of, Let them guide you towards presence and towards paying attention, because who knows, maybe you will learn something in this workshop that will radically change the rest of your day. And you might miss it because you're on your phone. Okay. So, can anyone tell me what this is? Put it in the chat. It's a very obvious answer. There's no like trick question here. This object. A pencil. Yes, a pencil. Okay, great. So I have a cat, right? So if I go like this and I present this to my cat, actually, I don't know if she'll participate, but if I like wave it at her and give it to her, what does she think it is? If I'm like, hey, look at this. Yes, a toy. Exactly. Like she'll want to like chew it. She'll want to play with it. She'll want to like do a bunch of crazy things with it. She'll probably have zoomies. Okay. So let me put this down. Okay, I put the pencil down. Imagine that I'm leaving the room. My cat is leaving the room. There's no one left. Then what is it? Object, a pencil, an object, alone. Yeah, like by itself, it's still a pencil. It just means nothing. Interesting. Okay. So if it's a pencil, then when the cat comes back into the room, it should place its eyes on it and say, pencil, duh, this must, sorry, I warned you about the morning voice. This must emanate pencil from it. It must radiate pencil, right? For it to just be a pencil, it must be coming here from here. But the cat doesn't think it's a pencil. But I think it's a pencil. So who's right? Who's right? Is it a pencil? Is it a chew toy? Both. Yeah. We're saying this object is empty of having a nature. It does not radiate toy coming out of it. It does not radiate pencil coming out of it. I am putting my eyes on this object and saying pencil. My cat is putting her eyes on this object and saying toy. It's not coming from this. It's coming from me. Why do we care about a stupid pencil? What does that have to do with self-care? Why are we talking about pencils right now? Because if pencil is coming from me, then this is applicable to everything else in my life. This is applicable to the people in my life who are annoying. They do not radiate annoyance. I am attributing annoyance to them, right? How do I know that they're not like annoying, just plain old annoying? Because maybe they have a partner, maybe they have family, maybe they have friends who think that this person is the greatest person on earth. And I think they're annoying. So where did annoying come from? How did I like come up with that? How did this just like enter my mind? Because it's not like I'm choosing, oh, okay, let me select through like my roster of emotions and pick annoying when I look at this person. So where did it come from? It's about perspective. It's about perspective, yes. But it's more than that. Because when you're having this experience, you can't automatically shift it towards something else. It's like this thing that's imposed, because if I look at this and I try to make this into a diamond or a toy or anything else, I'm like, no, it's a pen. Duh, it's a pencil. So it's like something that's kind of like ingrained in my mind, right? But it's coming from me. Okay. So this actually refers to a second point, which is called karma. It is my karma to see this as a pen. It is my karma to see the person as annoying. Karma is the movement of the mind and what follows. The movement of the mind and what follows. It's not what goes around comes around. Okay, there's like a little bit of that, but it's the movement of the mind and what follows. How do I have pen in my mind? Because I have given many pens to people for the purpose of writing. How do I have annoying in my mind when I look at this person? Because I have created unpleasant experiences for others before. Okay, so bear with me. I know that there are going to be plenty of questions, but there are 4 laws of karma. 4 laws for the movement of your mind and what follows for this. First of all, like attracts like, which means that if I plant a little seed of kindness in my mind, then I must receive kindness and I must experience kindness in my world. Kindness does not equal seeing people as annoying. Kindness does not equal people stepping on you. Kindness does not mean that you're going to be overlooked by the ones that you love, okay? But here's the tricky part. There's a little bit of a time delay with karma. Why? Because it expands. The second law of karma is that it expands. The movement of your mind expands, which means that if I had one little thought, I didn't act on it, but one little thought of like abusing people's kindness, then I might experience that in my world in a very big, drastic way. We use seeds as like an analogy for this. If you plant a little seed of kindness, you will receive a tree of kindness. If you plant a little seed of abusing people's kindness, then you will receive this big thing where you're suddenly like everyone is abusing your kindness and suddenly everyone is taking advantage of you and you don't know why. What did you do? You didn't do anything drastic. You didn't do this like big horrible thing that would make people treat you like this. Why are you experiencing this? Because karma expands. So this is not something that is disempowering. At this moment, if you're going, oh my God, every thought that I've had could have like led to a negative experience that I've had in my life. Okay, but every thought that you've had could have led to a positive experience in your life. And what this means is that we now have the opportunity to take the reins over our life and to take ownership over it. It means that by watching our thoughts and watching what we do, watching what we say, we're able to actually change the way that we experience the world. So that we no longer feel self-doubt, so that we feel appreciated by every person out there. Okay? This is an empowering thing. Okay. Third law of karma. If there is a result, there must have been a cause. If people are abusing your kindness, you must have planted that seed in your mind at one point. It doesn't need to have been like a week ago. It could have been something like years ago that you didn't really pay attention to. But over time, it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And suddenly you're experiencing this in your world. There is nothing that you will experience that doesn't have a cause. There is no experience in your life that is just going to pop up without any kind of reason. Okay? Fourth law of karma. The opposite. If there was a cause, there must have been a result. If you were kind to other people, you must experience kindness in return. You must. It's an absolute certainty. Okay? How is everyone with me? I'm going to take questions now because I know this is kind of new and a little bit jarring. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type them in the chat. And if you're with me and you're like, yes, I understand what this lady is saying to me on the Sunday morning, then just like do a little thumbs up or like signal yourself through the little Zoom screens so that I know that you're following this. Okay. So you can do a little reaction. Ooh. Okay. Do people who don't believe in karma get dealt more? Thumbs up. Cute. Okay. Also, you can change your name back if you don't like the purify. I'm curious about this question. Do people who don't believe in karma get dealt more? Can you explain it a little bit more? Also, feel free to like unmute if you want. But I'm not sure I quite understand the question. So I just want to make sure that I do so I can answer it properly. So I'll let that run. And okay, are people who don't believe in it given negative repercussions? No, it doesn't work as like, here's the thing. When you get taught about karma, and emptiness is, this is empty of a nature. That's what we're referring to. Lack of a self-existent nature. Emptiness, karma. If you get taught this and you're like, okay, sorry, I'm gonna curse. And you're like, this is absolute bullshit. And you know, I'm just never going to engage with this ever again. And I hate it. And you have like this really strong reaction, strong negative reaction to it. And you're just like, screw this, no. Then that has like a little repercussion into your world. So what we say is put it on a shelf. If you're not like 100% sure about it, if you're not like with it, just put it on a shelf, revisit later, or just say, hey, I'm not like completely sure of this thing. Okay. So I'm just gonna like put it aside for now. And that's it. I invite you to just do that. But there's no like system of like punishment with karma and emptiness, right? With this way of thinking about the world, it's up to you, right? It's up to your consideration of it. If you're having like a really strong negative reaction towards it, then that's going to create more negative reactions, you know? But it doesn't mean that there's like someone that's going to come out with I'm not like going to come out of my Zoom and just like start whipping you into submission until you believe what I'm saying. Okay. And this is something that you have to experiment with, you know? I can say 1,000 words to you about karma and emptiness. I can explain this to you 1,000 times. But as long as you don't start playing with it in your world, you're not really going to believe me. Okay. So how do you play with it in your world? How do you experiment with it? Well, here's the thing. You came to this workshop today to talk about self-care, right? Okay. So following this system, following this way of thinking What do you think is the best way, the most ultimate way to encourage self-care or to have self-care show up in your world? You can put that in the chat. Also, we'll take other questions as they come up. Following this idea of karma and emptiness, what is the best way to care for yourself? Positive self-talk. That's a good one. Okay. Love yourself, helping others, care for yourself by being present with others and nature. So cute. Okay. Whoever said helping others hit the head on the nail on the head. Sorry, I'm still getting used to expressions. Me, Claire, haha. Hey, yes, that was completely right. Helping others. Yes, positive self-talk and loving yourself are part of it. Why? Why? Because as soon as I criticize someone, as soon as I have this moment, we all have these. If you don't, then you figured it out more than I have. And you should talk to me after class. But we all have these moments when we criticize other people. Like it might be just like a fleeting little moment. And you're seeing someone in the street and you're like, her outfit doesn't really look good on her. Or you're saying, wow, this person is really irritating me. Wow, I don't want to be around this person. They're so irritating. Or like, anything like that. Anytime that you criticize others, that's exactly it. You're planting these little seeds of criticism. You're creating the causes to experience criticism in your world. And that presents itself in like different ways. You might hear a little voice inside your head that's saying, you suck. This shirt isn't fitting you properly. You're not kind enough, etc. You're never gonna make it. That voice is something that you created by criticizing others. Others criticizing you is the same from the same cause. If you're experiencing your family or people around you being critical of your choices and the way that you are and everything, that's also because at one point you created the cause for criticism in your mind. And here's the thing, here's where positive self-talk also goes. You're a person too. You're a person too. So when you're talking trash about yourself, you're also creating causes for criticism in your mind. That's where you want to reroute and think more positively about yourself and about others. So the ultimate self-care is caring for others, okay? Is exchanging yourself with other people. It's saying, I want to find the person who has a problem and I want to help them fix it. It's saying, I see a person who is struggling in the way that I am, I'm going to help them. And I'm sure some of you have experienced this at one point where you end up like helping a person that has like a similar problem as you, and you start to get insights into your own problem because you started helping this other person. You're like, oh, okay, I guess I know the answers, but I just don't think these about myself. You have to help others. You have to exchange yourself with others. You have to have compassion. If you want compassion for yourself, you have to have compassion for others. Is the tricky part. So the ultimate way to care for yourself is to care for others. Be kind to other people. Have compassion. And I'm not saying compassion only with the people that you like. There must be a balance, of course. Again, you're a person too. So if you're allowing yourself to get taken advantage of, then that's also a little seed that you're planting. But you have to determine where the line is. I don't have a perfect magic formula to tell you what is acceptable to you and what is not. But I am telling you that the way to care for yourself and to get appreciated by others and to feel good about yourself is to help other people feel good about themselves and to be compassionate. So people that you like, yes, start with people that you like. Start with people that are around you and try and put yourself in their shoes for a second, for like a minute. Try and see what their experience is, what it's like being that other person. Start with the people that you like, your friends, your family, your partner. And then move on to people that you're like a little neutral about, like your postal office worker or your local barista or someone that you don't know very well, but you're not feeling any kind of way about them. And then imagine what it's like to be in your shoe. Imagine what it's like for the postal office worker every day to be, making all of these stops, to then be delivering your mail, to taking all of this care for you to like get something, try and like really exchange yourself with others. And then when you're like ready, you start doing that with the people you don't like, the people who hurt you, the people that you feel are very difficult for you. What is it like to put yourself in their shoes? What is it like to have compassion for their existence? And this is not easy, but it is doable. How do I know? Because I've done it. Because I've done it. With people who have abused my kindness, with people when I was a kid who just contributed to like me having a horrible childhood, to people, to exes, to like people in my life that just, flat out left. I've done this practice with each and every one of them. And let me tell you that it changed my life. It's not this like hippie thing, love everyone. No, it has practical repercussions in your world. Because then I experienced people being kind to me. Then I experienced a Zoom room full of people that want to learn how to care for themselves better. If there is a cause, there must be a result. If there is a result, there must be a cause. Okay? Start small. Start small. Start planting little seeds of kindness for other people, and then do the hard stuff. I try to do it to people that I really don't like. Not always easy, but worth it. Claire. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's not easy because this whole way of thinking is like super counterintuitive. Your mind's not used to this. It's used to thinking, this is only a pen. This person is only annoying. This person can only ever drain my energy. But there's a potential for this person not draining your energy. There's a potential that this is a toy. It's possible. So you're just like flexing the muscle of your mind. You're like doing bicep curls to like get yourself ready for the hard stuff, but it's a muscle. You have to work it and work it and work it. So now I invite you to think of one thing that you might do like in the next week or so. One small thing, it doesn't have to be like the biggest challenge of your life, but one small way that you're going to care for another person and like really dedicate yourself to it. And if you can't think of anything, it could also be a pet. It could also be that you're dedicated to watering your plants for a week and not letting them die. That's a big thing with my friends. Whatever it is that like plants those little seeds of care. And if you want to experience it in a different way, you can also watch your mind for criticism. As soon as you start being critical of others, catch yourself. Catch yourself and just stop. Like remember emptiness. Remember karma and emptiness. Remember the little seeds that you're planting. Be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And then redirect. The way that I like to redirect is by thinking the opposite. If I'm thinking this person's outfit is horrible, which sometimes I do. I'm not like a perfect person yet. I'm like, wow, this does not look good. And then I think, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you have the perfect experience. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I reroute my mind, and sometimes it feels forced and contrived. At one point, it will not. At one point, you can't help anymore. You can't help it. You have to feel compassion for people. It's like this system in your mind that's ingrained. And there's no other way for you to consider others after that's done. After you've flexed the muscle enough, and now your like mind is completely ripped with compassion and kindness. I try to practice that, forgive myself for the thoughts, send positive energy to them. Exactly. Forgive yourself for the thought also. There's no point in like beating yourself up over the things that you've done in the past. If this is something that you're like thinking of now and you're like, oh my God, I've criticized so many people, or like I've created the causes for this in my life. There's no sense of guilt with this practice. We don't, in this lineage, Mahayana Buddhist lineage, we don't believe in guilt. We believe in intelligent regret. Meaning, it's kind of like if you're baking a cake and you're putting like 3 cups of sugar instead of 1, and then you bake the cake and you taste the cake and you're like, ooh, this is really sweet. I should have put just 1 cup of sugar. You want to approach it with like that kind of mentality, not like, oh my God, what did I do? You know, and to start like beating yourself up over it. Be kind towards yourself as you're doing this practice, as you're training your mind towards compassion and kindness. Be kind and compassionate towards yourself. It's like you want to approach it in as many ways as possible. Do it with others, do it with yourself also. And I guarantee you over time, you will get a result. Okay. So this practice of exchanging yourself with others, there's a meditation for it called Tonglen. That's the self-care meditation that I'm going to teach this afternoon on the IG Live for Alchemist Kitchen. And it's all about exchanging yourself with others and working that muscle for compassion. So if you're interested and you're like, I want to kind of start working out the fabric of my mind, then I encourage you to join this afternoon also. And this is a meditation that we teach at 3 Jewels as well, called self-care. It's free online. So if you want to just join, you'll have a guided meditation. And the reason why we use meditation is think of meditation as like this training ground, you know? So it's like right now, if I go into the streets and I try and have compassion for everyone, maybe I won't, it will be a little hard. If I try to like be compassionate towards a person who hurt me, like right now, as I step off this Zoom call, it might not like come really easily to me. I might be a little pissed off. I might be a little angry or frustrated. So you want to practice in your mind first. It's the only reason why we sit down in meditation. Otherwise, you're just sitting in an uncomfortable position for like 15, 20, 25 minutes like this in silence. What's the point? The point of meditation is train your mind. Train your mind. Go inwards, get to the fabric of your mind and train it. And then you go out into the world and you have magical compassion towards everyone. And you have magical compassion towards yourself. And this is a practice that you can do with yourself in mind or with others in mind. And I'm not going to go too much into the details of the visualization. I want you to experience it firsthand. So test it out. Come to class, test it out. But that's where meditation comes into play, because it's hard to just like suddenly say, hey, hold on. This is not a pen. This is like an infinite potential. And this is the most blissful object I have ever seen in my life. And I am just so happy looking at it. No, it's a pen. Okay. But if I train my mind in meditation, maybe I can see this as a potential to change the minds of thousands of people. Maybe I can see this as like this ultimate way of caring for myself. Okay. I know it's a pen, but it has the potential to do that. If the pen has the potential to do that, so does everything else. Okay. Any other questions? Are you with me? I'm going to bring the thumbs up back. Please send me some thumbs so I know that you're not lost in the sauce. Good. Yay. Okay. Lost in the sauce. I know. Yet another expression that I've had to learn. I don't know if you can tell, I'm not American. Will you be taking questions at the end? Yes, we can do a couple of questions. It kind of depends on the Alchemist Kitchen, but if not, I'm happy to connect with you after class. Okay. So does everyone have an idea of how they're going to be compassionate this week? That one thing that they're going to do? If so, I invite you to put it in the chat. Share it with others. We need to be inspired by each other's efforts. So please, if you feel brave enough and vulnerable enough, you don't have to like spill the whole beans, but you're going to do something nice for your mailman. That's really nice. I love that. I love that. Yeah, you can say something that's like a little more general if you're, you don't want to share too many details. But how nice is it to read that someone's going to do something nice for their mailman? Collecting a rescue dog to rehome on Wednesday. Oh my God, a little puppy. Yes. Maybe it's not a little puppy. Maybe it's like a really big dog. I don't know. How cute. You can wave a pen at them and test this out with them and be like, what do you see? 3-year-old. Oh, that's amazing. So doing something nice for your mailman means other people will ultimately start to care for your needs without you telling them anything. Taking care of a rescue dog and making them feel at home and giving them food and water and so will mean that you feel at home in some kind of way. You will feel at home in your body. You will feel like your needs are taken care of as well. Reverse engineer it to see how this will actually play out in your life. I'm going to be compassionate to other drivers, bikers, and pedestrians. This is where I know I'm the least compassionate to others. I absolutely love that because I feel like road rage is such a big thing and everyone just loses everything, like loses all of their practice when they're on the road because they're like, this person's going in front of me. No. So this is amazing practice. Look at you. That's so cool. I don't drive, but I'm Lebanese and I can tell you road rage is a big thing in Lebanon and it's very hectic. Okay, great. And if any other person is feeling inclined to share, please share with the group. But as you're doing these things, just remember, you're planting a little seed that's going to ripen into this whole experience in your life. So you want to feel good about it. Here's like another thing. You want to feel really good about the efforts that you're putting in. If you're going to do this, but then you're going to forget about it, or you're going to be like, yeah, I did the thing, fine, whatever, then it's like It's like letting the seed just be there and not like watering it. The way to water the seed is to feel good about it. Feel good about your efforts. Yes. Yes, I helped someone else. Yes, I was compassionate. Yes, I'm taking steps to change my life. Oh my God, how amazing. Like, get to cultivate that feeling of joy. That's like putting like a ton of fertilizer on your little kindness seed. We're very often taught that feeling good about ourselves and our acts of kindness or our good deeds is not appropriate. It's completely appropriate to feel really good about them. Joy is important. It's crucial to this practice to feel joy. I'll do a random act of kindness for a stranger. Perfect. Yeah. Helping my friend's teenage daughter. Amazing. Joy is crucial. Love that. Yeah, if you're going to do something nice for someone else, but then you're going to feel very like bleh about it, then that's not that great, you know? You want to feel really good about the good things that you're doing. Okay. Good. So now, if someone else wants to share in the chat, please share in the chat. Okay? But if not, I also need to find the balance. Yeah, find balance, right? Find balance. It's kind of like you have to test your abilities. And when you feel resistance, just know like, okay, these are my limitations right now. Again, don't feel bad about where you're at. Just say, hey, I've stretched my compassion muscle to this point and will not stretch anymore. And that's fine. And then you can work in meditation. You can do the work of like training your muscle over time, but don't be discouraged by your abilities at this present moment. This is a new practice. Okay. So whatever you feel comfortable with also. I'm good at anticipating and meeting the needs of others. I will look for the joy in caring for myself. Amazing. Yes, look for the joy in caring for yourself. When you're caring for yourself, when you're doing the face mask, when you're taking the bath, etc. And by taking the bath, I am like imagining this like bubble bath with like, you know, great smells. And it's like this very enjoyable experience. I live in New York. I don't have a bathtub. So I imagine it to just like be like, wow. When you're doing that, feel good about it too. You're taking care of yourself. You're a person. You're a human. That counts. Okay. So maybe for the next week, care for other people and also commit to one thing that you're going to do for yourself. One thing. Okay. Good. So we have 2 minutes left. I want to do a small dedication. So dedication means that whatever efforts you've put in today and whatever attention you've put into this workshop, we're going to dedicate it to other people, right? Following the principles of this practice, following the principles of this workshop. So just bear with me. You can close your eyes if you want to. This is not going to be long, but we're just going to take a couple of moments to absorb our efforts. Okay. So maybe just take a deep breath here. Like deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. And think of the time that you've spent today learning how to better care for yourself. Think of all the tiny little seeds of attention, of presence, of compassion, learning, wisdom that you've planted over the past hour. Know that you must experience the results of this in your own life. And think maybe of one person, someone else, who could use the things that you've learned here today, who could use the moments of insights or wisdom. And we're going to do 3 long exhales through the nose. And with each exhale, I want you to imagine that this person is receiving all of the benefits that you've gotten from this workshop. So with 3 exhales, imagining you're sending it out to them. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And if you have your eyes closed, you can open them up now. Thank you for joining today. I'm Tala, again, part of 3 Jewels. And so again, there's a self-care meditation that's coming this afternoon on the Alchemist Kitchen Instagram. And if not, you can always take a class at 3 Jewels if you want to come by another day. We have plenty of meditations that teach the same principles as this. My IG handle, I will type it in the chat. I also own a clothing brand, so if you see a bunch of clothing, you're in the right place. Yes, this afternoon on our Instagram, The Alchemist Kitchen. Thank you, everyone. All right, so I'm gonna stay 1 second more if anyone has like any specific questions, but if not, feel free to get on with your day. It was wonderful having you here.